everybody. It's Saturday, in case you didn't know, which I don't know how anybody could tell. But I thought I'd do a little movie thing today. Couple years ago, a friend of a friend they were talking about movies, and the guy said he grew up never watching any westerns, which, by the way, is a crime. And he said he didn't know where to start. He wanted to start getting into western movies. So I happened to be in the area, and he says, "Well, if you want to know that, you ask Tony," which was quite a compliment to me. So I'm going to give you guys my 5 starter movies for getting into the Western genre. Now, these aren't necessarily my favorite movies, although they're all up there, but these are the ones I think people should start with to get them into the groove of Western movies. So, in no particular order, first we have Tombstone. It's a great movie, all-star cast, gritty. It's a story of course, the OK Corral and the events surrounding it and stuff like that. Don't know what kind of factual history it has to it. I wasn't there, and neither was anybody else left alive. But has Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Sam Elliott, Bill Pullman, a host, Powers Booth, a bunch of other great actors, and some cameos by some vintage actors who, if you are not into westerns, you wouldn't know them anyway. But if you start getting into westerns, they'll have some great significance for you. Great movie, great action, well shot. Really nothing bad I can say about the entire movie. On to my next movie, another all-star cast, and this is the movie Silverado. This movie is fun and exciting and action-packed. And again, an all-star cast. I'll read them off here. Kevin Kline, Scott Glenn, Rosanna Arquette, John Cleese. Yeah, the one from Monty Python. He's actually in this movie. Kevin Costner, Brian Dennehy, Danny Glover, Jeff Goldblum, Linda Hunt. There's a few others in there. Jeff Fahey's in there. Another all-star cast, and just a great, great movie. Now, going to go way back. There's got to be a black and white one for your first set of Western movies. In this particular case, the black and white I'm taking you back to is the movie Shane. It was originally black and white. My version is in color. This has Alan Ladd, Van Heflin, Gene Arthur. It is also the first time we ever get introduced to the bad guy in the movie. The gunfighter toward the end is I can't remember his name now. I'll think of it in a little bit, but became very, very well known as most of the time a bad guy in Western movies. No movie list is complete for Westerns if you don't have John Wayne in it. I'm recommending El Dorado as John Wayne. Robert Mitchum also has a very young James Caan and a few other famous actors from the time. Just a well-made movie. A lot of fun, a lot of shooting, a lot of good one-liners. Basically, it's a sheriff that becomes an alcoholic, and his friends have to come in and help save him against the bad guys. And it's a great, great movie with a lot of great characters in it. I could not find my copy of The Magnificent Seven. It's got to be on your list as movies to watch if you're new into the Western genre. Magnificent Seven was basically a 60s version, Western version of The Seven Samurai, which is a very famous movie made in Japan back in '54, I believe it was. And they made it into a Western, and it has Yul Brynner. I wrote some of the names down. Charles Bronson, Steve McQueen, James Caan. James Colburn. And Eli Walsh, which if you ever wind up getting into spaghetti westerns, famous bad guy. So those are the top 5 movies if you want to get into westerns. And right now, a lot of people are sitting at home not knowing what they're doing, maybe thinking about getting into westerns if you're not already into westerns. If you are, those are all great movies as well. And I do got to do an honorable mention. Absolutely have to do this honorable mention. I didn't put these in the top 5 because a lot of people, even a lot of Western fans, don't like spaghetti westerns. But if you watch those movies I just told you about, and then you just say, man, I just want something with more grit to it, then you got to see Clint Eastwood, any one of his Man with No Name series. These are great movies. My understanding of the story was Clint Eastwood was under contract with a company when he was doing the show Rawhide, so he couldn't make movies in America. So Sergio Leone had him go out to Italy. That's why they call them spaghetti westerns, to make these movies, and they pretty much launched his career, sent him through the top. So a lot of fun. And if you have never watched a western and you haven't given it a try, give it a try. If you're out there and you cannot stand westerns, you don't like them, don't bother commenting because you've already lost all credibility in the movie world for me as it is. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Have fun out there. Hit me up with what you think are some really good westerns in my comments box. Let me know what you think would be one of the first ones you recommend to somebody who wants to watch westerns. Talk to you all later.